If you've watched any episodes of The Next Great Baker, which cast members do you most relate to and why?
I relate to Dana.
Hands down.
Even keeled. No matter what else everybody was going through, no matter how upset they were, he was just even keeled. He did what he did, and he did a good job at it.
I might be somewhere between Marissa and Nadine. Kind of happy and perky, and when the shit hits the fan, you're kind of just splatter. Gotta get some claws out just a little bit. Just deal with it.
All right.
I wanted to be funny and say Minerva. Just kidding. Okay.
No.
Okay, what's the next question? Let's just keep going.
How will you be able to compete against the other teams who might have more or less formal culinary training than you? Does school/training factor into this competition, in your opinion? Will you be able to hang with the competition?
I think the training does factor into it if they have practiced it, if they have kept up with it. Because just because you learn something once doesn't mean that you're great at it. I mean, I think there was a lot of people on the show that seemed like they were, should have just been putting out some cakes that looked amazing. But
Don't you feel like anybody could go to culinary school, though? I'm not degrading at all. Anybody could go to culinary school. What they get from it and what their fire is that drives them totally determines what they're going to do with it. It's just
Right.
like nursing school. I went to nursing school with people I wouldn't let touch me.
well, and
Or
I
my
think
parents.
I tend towards old school of learning on the job. I think trade school is by far the best way to learn anything because you're doing it and learning it, not just
Which for us would
being
be,
told.
What, YouTube?
Yeah, between YouTube and but not just YouTube. Even we've gone to other bakers. We've had other people who've shown us different techniques and talked to us and different stuff like that too.
Okay, so what's the rest of it? Culinary training and then what?
Does it factor in your opinion?
Okay, I think we...
And
Touched
will
on
you-
that, but I think it factors in a little bit. But I really think the biggest part of it is can you do it under time constraints? And I think that's the hardest. That to me is the hardest part. Is just because you can decorate and do this really great thing doesn't mean that you can do it in the time constraints.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we can compete with them because we're used to doing that.
And will you be able to hang with the competition?
Hanging with the
Yes.
competition. Yes. And I think, too, the fact that we're relational people. We get along with people pretty well.
And that's another big factor in the show as well, because if you can't relate to people and can't get along with people, then one person can really fluster you and totally mess you
And
up.
I also think inexperience can be such a good benefit. Like, we totally found this out building out the food truck. David's technical and he has training in, like, construction and stuff. We would go to the hardware store and I'd look at something, because I don't know what it is. I'd look at something and be like, hey, can't we use this for this thing? And it would make him so mad. He's like, oh, yes, I didn't even think of that. I think there's a value in an experience, too.
Can be.